All right, hello everyone. Thank you for, there we go. Testing. Good? Good. Hello everyone, welcome to Helicon West. Thank you for filling the house tonight. That's awesome. We don't usually get this kind of turnout for a summer event, so you guys rule.
And who are you?
I'm Woody. I am the Helicon ambassador, ex-intern, and will be involved more deeply in the future, we hope. I'm going to go ahead and read the regular spiel for everybody in case you're not a regular. Helicon West is an uncensored public reading series. We host published authors and community writers to showcase all levels of skill and craft. We welcome open mic readers. That's all we've got tonight. We welcome donations to keep Helicon West going, and you will find our sign-up sheet, as Joseph said, right over there, along with bookmarks with a QR code to give those donations to us, as well as the coffee station where you will get decaf provided by Ibis. Aside from that, be sure to use a lid if you do get coffee. We want to make sure and keep the carpet nice for as long as possible. And Helicon West also humbly acknowledges that we are here on the territory of the Northwestern Band of the Shoshone Nation. We are grateful for our sponsors and partners, including Sugar House Review, the Logan Library, the USU English Department, Cafe Ibis, and many community volunteers. For information on and interviews, as well as a few more things that will hopefully be getting more and more traffic as the semester moves on, you can visit our blog at heliconwest.wordpress.com. With that in mind, we will go ahead and get started. I will grab the sign-up sheet and read the first three readers. All right, our first three readers will be Pam, Jan, and Mike.
I wrote this story about when my grandkids come to visit me, and I wrote this a few years ago when they were all quite small. And I used to have great withdrawal when they leave, so that's what I've titled it, When They Leave. When they leave, I wave goodbye and smile at their sweet faces as they start their drive home. They may be silly, cross, smiling, or tired, but no matter their mood or how long they've stayed, they'd all vote to stay longer if the little votes counted. That makes me feel satisfied and proud. I delight in the knowledge that we played our best, danced both fabulously and gracefully, sailed the high seas on our couch that turned into a ship, and defeated all the villains and dragons that we came across. I can stand tall as a grandma in this knowledge, but most of me wants to curl up and take a nap. When they leave, I put away the Mickey Mouse pancake mold. I sweep up all the crumbs because that's all the proof of the cookies we baked. I laugh when I find a stray blueberry. I find an article of clothing discarded near the dress-up clothes when a little one changed from a little girl into a princess. I wash all the cups and spoons we used, and sometimes there's a full sink because we may have had several opportunities for a tea party. I wash the little pickle fork that fits easily into their small hands. Who really ever uses a pickle fork for pickles anyway? The pillows go back to the head of the bed. The cushions go back on the couch. No longer a huge pirate ship at sea. The couch is just a comfortable couch once again, and its cushions miraculously change from small lifeboats into ordinary square couch cushions. Nothing seems any worse for the wear, and I notice there's a towel behind the couch that a little guy must have used as a cape. I take a dozen books back to the shelf in the bedroom and add the toys to the toy box. Most of the crayons are still in one piece. Go back into the crayon tin, and all the stray pieces of paper and coloring books go back into their place. They've colored me a big thank you note, and it's on the fridge. It makes my heart smile every time I pass by, until those sweet little grandchildren come back again to fill my house with joy and laughter and a little bit of magic. All the scraps of paper from the Valentines we made go into the recycle bin. I've already saved their best work, and it's on the fridge or on my bathroom mirror. They'll bring a smile to my face until we find the time to create a new mess. I wash up the rubber stamps we use and put the heart and dragonfly-shaped paper punches in their place. We have so much fun with a small amount of materials. Some of them are now strong enough to use the paper punches themselves, with a little bit of supervision, of course. I put the 14-ounce can of stewed tomatoes back in the cupboard. It weighs down the stroller so the little kids can push it without tipping over. A teddy bear can sit right on top of the can of tomatoes, and they can walk him all over the house. The Barbie clothes, the Barbie Jeep, and the Barbie Corvette go back in the toy chest. I find that I'm no longer sad or feel like crying when they leave. They have to head home, but they'll visit again when they can, and they'll all be back for more adventures real soon. Lying down on my couch, I have one last laugh as I feel something poke my back. It's another Barbie, naked of course, with her big plastic grin. I smile back at her and we both lay down to maybe take a nap. A weekend full of memories, such joy. I almost drift off to sleep when I realized they may have brought the bug collection into the house. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Jen.
This is what I call my favorite winter memory. It was December of 1988. The previous summer, I had moved to Utah from sunny and humid Florida. I relished the dry atmosphere of my new home, as did my unruly hair. But that December was brutally cold, even for northern Utah. I outfitted my young growing children with the requisite boots, mittens, coats, hats, earmuffs, etc. But their Florida bodies were not yet acclimated to the cold. My rented house was large and roomy, but otherwise not well heated. In other words, the milk could stay out on the counter overnight without spoiling. Therefore, when the man I was dating offered to take us, me and my 2 daughters, to San Diego to visit his parents for Christmas, we all jumped at the chance. I was madly in love with this man, and I loved road trips. What not to love about this plan? He had 2 children of his own who would be traveling with us. That meant we had 4 children under the age of 8 traveling many, many miles in a minivan. Cue the calamity gods. We left on the winter solstice after my work was over around 5 p.m. and joked about the chaos which must surely would ensue in the hotel room that first night on the road. After all, it was the longest night of the year. I have to add that this is the same man who, on the summer solstice, the shortest night of the year, took me camping at Redfish Lake in Idaho. We had glorious lovemaking all night long that night that felt anything but short. Regardless, the kids did fine, and at 5 a.m. the next morning, we all climbed back into the van to continue to California. Even though I had explained the trip beforehand to my kids, even providing a map showing where we were going, my 2-year-old was a little confused. From the way back part of the van, she called out, "When we get to that California place, will my hands be warm?" I cringed in the front of the van, wondering if I should have sprung for the better quality mittens for this poor child. We traveled further down the road, and then another question from the rear of the van. "When we get to this California place, will my nose still stick together?" I felt like a horrible mother. Somebody along the way had the bad idea to give the 4 children riding in the back of the van a bag of Cheetos to snack on. When we pulled into a rest stop, the entire back end of the van and all 40 fingers were covered in orange Cheeto dust. I had never seen anything quite like that mess and looked anxiously over to my boyfriend, afraid of what he would think about the mess in his car. But he just burst into laughter. We all had a good laugh about it, but no more Cheetos, please. We arrived late that night in San Diego. I was really nervous to meet my boyfriend's parents. Would they like me? Would they like my children? Would they understand that the orange coloring on their fingers was not permanent? It all went swimmingly. Since we arrived so late, we were all so tired. We just set up our sleeping bags on the living room floor, all 6 of us, and went to sleep quickly. The next day, we went to the zoo with all the kids and had an action-packed day in warm, sunny California. When we got back to his parents' house, my boyfriend whisked me away alone. His parents volunteered to be on kid duty to one of his favorite beaches. He had brought a bottle of wine, which we shared while we watched a spectacular sunset over the water. Afterwards, we went back to his parents' house, had dinner with everyone, and played a few rounds of board games. Then off to our sleeping bags on the living room floor. Love filled my heart. The next day, we got up super early. My boyfriend had another special surprise for me. We bundled all the 4 kids back into the van. He had a thermos of coffee for me and a thermos of hot chocolate for the kids, some non-orange snacks, and we drove to the same beach he and I had been to the night before, where we had seen the sunset over water. This particular beach was actually a spit of land situated such that you can also see the sun rise over water, which we did. This was the most romantic thing I had ever experienced, even with 4 kids under the age of 8.
I was a little dubious about what to read tonight, but I kind of let you be the judge. I think I'm taking a chance, but this is from my latest book, which is entitled Championing Democracy. And I don't know if any of you people are happy with our current president or not, but I lean that way just a little bit. So I'll let you be the judge. Several times I've been warned that this book will see my demise. I was told, what's his name, the swill merchant who sits in the Oval Office will have my head on a pike. Now, it won't be like being arrested and put in a local hoosegow. I will just disappear. I will silently join a group of young men, exclusively in white t-shirts and shorts, in El Salvador or some other esoteric prison with no record of its having happened, and my name will not appear anywhere. At 90 years of age, who gives a shit anyway? That's not the voice I hear. The voice I am privy shouts, screw fair, open a vein, write your damned heart out, write with that passion that is raw, alive, and hungry. I am not a political somebody. I'm not a religious authority, nor am I a Hollywood icon, but I am a citizen of this great amalgamation of immigrants and children of immigrants, and I am a veteran. One of those people our current president calls a loser and a sucker for serving my country. I am part of we the people, and we are a union of differences, a nation of differences, multiplying while His Majesty continues to make America suffer for the 34 felony convictions, the 2 impeachments, and all the other terrible ways we treated our poor old victimized president during the Biden administration. We are a thriving nation of freedom fighters rallying to put President Dud and his buddy Vladimir back where they belong, in the country of oblivion, buried in yesterday's refuse. Be careful where you step, stuffed shirt, the drain is next to your foot. I am an American. I stand with the sober voices of America. Heather Cox Richardson, Tom Hartman, Elizabeth Warren, Alexander Ocasio-Cortez, Anaya Presley, Cory Cook, Governor Pritzker, Clinton, Obama, Pelosi, De Niro, Bernie, and a legion more of true blue citizens raising their voices in support of the real America, the one with a Constitution and a Bill of Rights that guarantees freedoms even from our government. My America is my home, and you have stepped too far into its beloved ideals, its beautiful, persuasive skies, its general welfare. You have trampled on the blessings of liberty for too long. Hail hence, O self-aggrandized one, before your coattail reaches kindling temperature and your derriere cries, ouch. Freedom is a journey. It's the essence of belonging human to human to something beautiful, worthwhile, and positive. Freedom is democracy emancipated. It's open curiosity, encouraged expression, poets dancing in the streets, raging empathy, goodwill squandered. Freedom is a strong heartbeat under an I can't help but smile. We are America. You in the White House are on 9-iron looking for a golf ball in the rough. You are the name we won't be able to remember, anathema by any other. You were, we are, freedom is. Thank you. Pick up somebody else's.
It's all right.
All right, next three readers will be, and I apologize if I am mispronouncing this, Ariel, perfect, Mark, and Sarah. Feel free to sign up.
Hello.
Ah.
I have never shared my own work before in front of strangers. I'm going to read a couple of poems that I've written. When I get really upset, I write poetry. So this happened, I wrote this one after an interaction I had with someone at my job. I wear my shame on my sleeves. It marks my skin. Are all those mosquito bites, you ask, causing my stomach to sink? Yes, I lie. Of course you notice. I'm not stupid. I'm certain everyone does. But most are polite enough not to comment. The thing is, you don't really want to know the truth. If I told it, you would look at me with disgust or maybe pity. You wouldn't understand because you aren't supposed to do what I do. You aren't supposed to pick at your skin, causing yourself to scar and bleed. If I told you, you would ask why. Don't do that. Just stop. As if I haven't told myself those things a million times. As if I haven't tried to quit daily for the last 20 years of my life. You would think it was a decision, a fault of personality, a lack of willpower. I can't blame you. I think these things myself. Every time I see my arms, I am reminded I am embarrassed and ashamed. Sometimes I don't know I'm doing it. Other times I resign myself to it, getting a short sense of satisfaction, immediately followed by guilt and disgust. I don't want to be this way. Your innocent question cuts me deep. It hurts more than any of the scars ever have. It will leave its own scar. I will go over the remark over and over again in my head, berating myself for the way I am. You will never know the impact your comment has made. You will go on living your life not knowing the pain these bites cause me. You don't really want to know, because you are a stranger who has no business asking me why I am the way I am. I don't want to apologize for it, but you make me feel as if I should. You make me feel as if I am just my scars, not a person of feelings and dreams, not a person who struggles to forget the scars and doesn't need your harsh reminder to know that they are there. Believe me, I remember. I don't want your pity. I don't want your questions. I just want to live my life as me, someone who is more than the marks on her skin. This is another one I wrote for a class I had a few years ago. And please note the term Indian is used in this poem because that is the word that my ancestor used in his journals. A letter to my ancestor. Dear Henry Ballard, I've always admired your bravery. I've always admired your strength. You gave up everything you knew for something you believed in. You left your home and your family to travel to a place you did not know. You traveled to the Americas, someone else's home. Even before you arrived, you had ideas about the Indians. Your first encounter was with the Sioux. You were surprised that they were peaceable and that they never caused much trouble. Never realizing that they had every right to cause trouble. You were a white man coming to invade their land. You called your final destination the Promised Land. It was God's plan. You were meant to settle there. It was sacred land. Did you know? Did you care? That this land was sacred to them long before it was ever sacred to you. But your religion is true. Theirs is not. Did you ever think that you had something in common? They were constantly being persecuted for their beliefs, just as you and your people were being persecuted for yours. I would have hoped this would make you more sympathetic to their plight, but it didn't. They were nothing but trouble, stealing your horses, your food, killing your men, never stopping to ask yourself why they were angry, why they fought you. The reasons didn't matter. They were nothing but heathens to you. You celebrated in their deaths. The Lord raised up his foe to punish them without us having to do it. You said this about the death of over 200 Indians in a battle that is now known as the Bear River Massacre. Why did God punish them? For being angry? For wanting to keep their homes? For wanting the same thing you did? Land to call home, void of the other party. Well, you got what you wanted. Land. Your land. Our land. My land. This is the lie that was passed down into my generation. I fall subject to it. I use these words frequently. It was never our land. It will never be our land. It is stolen, and it always will be. I don't know how to correct your mistakes, but I can stop the lies here, and that's a start. This one's a short one. I'm a librarian, and I get very angry when people try to ban books. So this is a poem I wrote. Again, I write when I'm upset. Books are dangerous things. They open new worlds, make us feel seen, show us what it's like to live a different life, have different beliefs, experiences, and values. Books give us empathy for others, and that is a dangerous thing when the goal is to dehumanize them. You can't commit atrocities to others if you believe that they are human.
I have to be the first one to read from my phone.
No shame.
My
no
emotional
shame.
support device. We got 3 poems. This is against gratitude. Tart complaints of want and lack coat my tongue, temple throbbing with the ghostly reply of millions untold wish they were me. Hard to disagree. Hobby planes and medevacs buzz the valley and we don't run for cover, because around these parts we know that engines and blades save lives. I was going to list more things that make us lucky, but air supremacy is more than enough to chew. So far, the machines bless our threshold on their way to drain someone else's sons. The mantra of the serf in the imperial heartland. I might not have much, but I have what matters. Our lapsing grandpa gives us a gold watch and says, "Happy birthday." It's not our birthday, and just yesterday Uncle grieved the missing timepiece. He soothed himself to us that it would surely turn up. Thanks, Grandpa, we chorus. So polite, so humble, we take the gift. Go on, sing the ointment that tempts the west. There but by the grace of God go I coax things down my throat like molasses. I hate molasses. I've always gagged at the mere scent of the syrup, but I'm assured that too much was sacrificed for me not to involve myself with it. The prayer goes on. May our gratitude volley and drop like shells of phosgene into manifest winds. Give us the strength to not look over shoulder where industrial fans are just a flap like hell. Build me a fire without the burning, and I will be forever grateful. This is Palestinian Girl. A wounded girl sneaks through the algorithm. A bullet burrows under the root of her ponytail, copper tick swelling at the base of her skull. A blue glove bears her arm to give or take fluids. She faces Stony away on a rare hospital bed. Is she sedated, stunned, or serene? We lose context behind the screen. A chill prickles my neck with haunting certainty that I bought the bullet, just like its rifle cradled out of frame. As you know, countries don't buy firepower in tidy one packs. I don't want to call her brave because I don't think she wants to be brave. I think she wants to play soccer, or brew concoctions in the kitchen, or dance with family, or, like me at her age, conduct playful experiments. Groundbreaking child science, where I dropped things from high places to see how they break or rebound, and tuck deep in my growing brain the stories they tell of cause and effect. I could be wrong though. We shouldn't practice dreaming on behalf of the distant and silenced. If not brave, what then can I call her? The video calls her a Palestinian child. Mom and Dad aren't there to call her anything, but the surgeon calls her Lana. I'm sorry, Lana. Last one is for my dog, because I was reading Mary Oliver, so I did an imitation. For hash brown, like the potato, for hash brown. What can I do? When I turn the vacuum on, in a flash, he's gone. I just want to clip his nails, but he winces and growls. We hug it out. I get some quick sorry kisses. We split a hunk of cheddar. No harm done. A little love and a lot of cheese makes everything better. I brush my palm along his head, neck, and spine. His ears flop, his brow releases. We tell each other everything's fine. We woof playfully at each other. My dog talk folds into laughter. Oh, to be a fly on the wall the year before we rescued you. I get it, bud. Who doesn't understand the lesson of deep punctures? Thank you.
Thanks for not making me the first to use my phone.
You're welcome.
I just have 2 poems. This one is called Open Window. I say I don't believe anymore, but the lie is an open window. The truth is written in clear letters on my sleeve and in my eyes. It is in every saved voicemail, every song, every you've been on my mind. It is a piece of me so ingrained I couldn't lose it if I tried. It goes where I go. It flows from my fingertips into every hand I hold and sticks to my skin like cigarette smoke. And these days I try to wring it out of me. I scrub the affected areas like my love is a disease, and what I'm left with is the memory, just as present as before, staring at me through the window and waving from the open seas. This poem is a list, because I process my feelings through lists, like my dad. I recently wrote a letter to somebody that I had no business writing a love letter to. So this is everything that I admitted from that love letter. All of the things I didn't write in your letter, hoping that you could read between the lines. That I still want you, obviously. And that I'm afraid I invented you inside my head. That despite my fleeting memory, I still recall everything that you said. That I can indeed read the invisible ink in your now is not the right time. That I still don't understand a thing you said, even though I really tried. That the word love is too taboo to use, but it's the first word in my head when I think of you. That I mention you in the present tense like you aren't solidly in my past. That I miss smoking, but I miss you more, and that keeps me from buying a pack. Your thanatos is in your own mind, and it would be easier to fight with your hand in mine. And that memories of you are still my favorite way to pass the time. I recently found out that he received that letter and did not respond, so he obviously agrees I had no business writing him a love letter.
All right, our next 3 are going to be
Denise and Tim. I'm gonna leave this up here so I don't have to walk over there every time.
Hello. I just moved into town and I thought I'd come tease my social anxiety a little bit. So I wrote a quick poem.
Well done.
I walk into the mountain beyond the trail's embrace, barefoot, splashing across the stinging cold creek and stomping around a dreaming boulder. There in the woody grove, I string my cradle. The trees shake as I climb inside, their charitable boughs bowing. I sway and the leaves rustle, murmuring their secrets above me. I strain my ears, but I cannot hear. Won't you speak them to me? I supplicate the leaves. The methods of peace, the knowledge necessary to be loved. The breeze comes and rattles the branches. I still can't make out the answers, so on my back I plead. What makes for a happy life? How can I avoid suffering? The wind surges and the clouds roll in low overhead. I still cannot hear, I say. I came to the grove in need, and you laugh at me behind whispers. I listen harder, growing only more deaf. Shout your wisdom, I demand. Teach me. The wind bellows now in great gusts, the storm a fury on the boughs, creaking wood to cracking bark. The gale shakes the roots below. The leaves roar like a river, and I am silent. Thanks.
You realize, hi you guys, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise.
Here's what I say, when you get to be my age, the phone is too small. You can't read it, so you have to have an iPad or you have to bring your glasses. Okay, I have 3 poems. This is called It All Adds Up. My mother used to get so excited about any coin she found in the gas station parking lot, on the floor of the grocery store, in a sidewalk rack. It didn't matter if it was a penny, a nickel, or a quarter. Her luminous smile beamed abundance as she declared, every little bit helps. These days, I keep an eye out for any snippet of beauty, quick flash of kindness, or twinkle of joy. I gather them eagerly, filling my pockets, my fingers sticky with light. Okay, this is called What the Sunflowers Know. Sunflowers stand in the dark, faces lifted, already turned east. Tuned to the light, they wait. As the sun brightens, I swear they stretch taller. As the first sunbeams stream into the garden, they reach up, drenching their faces. They do not mind when small honeybees come to carry off their gold. They share it willingly, without regret. They do not mind when I gather them into a vase. They will shine there all day, dropping their gold all over the dining room table, reminding me of our purpose in life. And here's the last one. This is kind of a close one. It's called Any Ordinary Day. The other day, I overheard a woman at the coffee shop tell her friend that life was too hard to be grateful all the time, that there were too many challenges beyond her control and not enough good things within reach. Hunched hard in her chair, hands grasping the full cup. Slow curls of steam rose into a long ray of sunlight streaming in through the window, laying across the table. Sliding her elbows forward, the friend bent over the table, bowing her head close, and placed her hands over her friend's. The woman straightened suddenly, then dropped her shoulders and leaned back in, topped with heads touching. One set of hands holding another, 2 sets of hands holding a full cup. In a loud cafe on an ordinary day, this is what we can do for each other.
I too, way beyond being able to read from a phone. I have a cat who's an outdoor cat, thinks he's an indoor cat. My indoor cat spilled water all over my printer today, so we're reading from a book. I was asked a few years ago to do the foreword for this, and so I did, and that's what I'm going to read today. It's strange how memories and feelings dormant for years can be awakened by the least little thing. A long forgotten tune, perhaps a sight, or even a scent can transport you back. As I leafed through the Sunday paper over breakfast, I had no idea what lay in store. It was one of those magnificent spring days. It had snowed in the night, but the April sun had already burned it away, leaving unseasonable warmth under a brilliant azure sky, and to me, luxuriating in the unexpectedly free morning, a snow day for adults. I normally skip the classifieds but perused them this day in an effort to prolong the mood. In doing so, I noticed an unusually large advertisement which read, "Wanted, 79 Z28 Camaro." But not just any Camaro. The author spoke of the 79 Camaro he'd once owned, a car he'd dreamt of and worked toward for years. Finally, in his senior year of high school, his dream came true. A black Z28 with orange racing stripes straight off the showroom floor was his. The following year, however, saw hardship in his family, and in order to afford to serve a Mormon mission, he was forced to sell his beloved car. But with every intention of buying it back. He contacted the buyer when he returned from his mission, only to find the Camaro had been sold, and then again, and again. He finally tracked it to a now-defunct salvage yard where, a miracle of miracles, the owner remembered it had been spared the crusher and sold to some kid bent on its restoration. That's where the trail went cold. Years stretched to decades until finally, some 40 years later, he placed the ad. The serial number of the car was included with a message. He'd pay top dollar, regardless of the condition, just to have his car back. I read and reread the ad. It was a haunting plea. Its brief but powerful appeal, coupled with an almost certain futility of the quest, seized my heart, not with pity or despair, but with wonder and nostalgia. That old angst settled in as memories swirled. I was 13 again, riding back from church in my father's Cadillac. I'd slipped out during services to admire my cousin Rindy's new car, a gleaming blue Corvette. I'd never seen anything like it. I couldn't look away. This thing didn't have an interior, it had a cockpit. A low-slung bucket seat facing a sunken instrument panel with a speedometer that went all the way to 160. See, this is the problem with looking up to the audience, and then you look down, it's like, holy shit, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. I definitely felt the spirit that day, and it wasn't in the chapel, I assure you. Dad interrupted my reverie, hurrying us to the car so as not to be caught behind a line of cars escaping services like second graders at recess. We were free and clear and doing about 60 down the highway when in the distance, closing from behind like a blue torpedo, appeared Rindy's new Corvette. In a rare moment of insurrection, Mother did not approve. Dad, having spied my obvious infatuation, smirked at me through the mirror and pressed the caddy's accelerator to the floor as Rindy tried to pass. All 501 cubic inches of high-test gulping car roared as the caddy leapt to the occasion until finally, somewhere north of 90, Rindy backed off due to oncoming traffic. I remember feeling both elated and saddened. Sure, the home team had won, and the caddy was certainly a great car, but Dad took a little more pleasure in his joke than I thought was sporting. Then the traffic cleared, and again Rindy moved to pass. And again Dad punched it, but to no avail. The Stingray might as well have been a fighter jet for all the competition we gave him. I was hooked. And so began my unrequited love for muscle cars. I took to stopping by the dealership every night after my paper route to commune until, rather than send me away, they chose to harness my malaise with weekend detailing jobs. My favorites were the sports cars. From time to time, they even let me drive from the lot to the service bay anyway. Alas, my automotive destiny lay elsewhere, and no regrets, really, that the aching and longing for the road not traveled remains. Cars were symbols of freedom and power and status, and they were also in short supply. Most of us had to settle for borrowing our parents' cars, making us betas at best, literally at the mercy of parental whim. Only slightly better than borrowed cars were cars the parents gave us, hand-me-downs, which were almost always old clunkers. Most parents couldn't afford another car for their teen. Blaine's Impala, for instance, was ancient and slow. And to hide the rust, he had repainted it with a spray can, baby blue. But hey, at least he had wheels. But sometimes a kid would get lucky. Many of these so-called family cars were born out of the muscle car era. Eric's hand-me-down Chevy station wagon was ugly, but with a Herculean V8 under the hood, it was more than fast enough to compensate for his appearance and more than big enough for 7 or 8 of his closest friends to hang out the window, our hair whipping in the wind. Obviously, the Holy Grail was a car of our own, which is where factors like life and means became ascendant, where sometimes painful reality comes crashing in, that not all cars are cool or fast. They're as different as their drivers. For some, cars are symbols of prestige, others a reflection of personality. There are even, for those for whom vehicles are little more than a necessity, a sort of utilitarian symbiosis akin to cowboy and steed. But from box to dreamboat, clunker to classic, utilitarian to decadent, and all points in between, there exists a certain rapport. Cars are more than mere possessions. They are our partners. Is it any wonder we develop attachments to them? That's what this collection is about. The relationships and experiences related here are as unique as the people who shared them. Perhaps nostalgia will spark a memory or two of your own. A celebration of good times past and those yet to come. I wonder about the experiences the ad's author at C28 must have shared and smiled. Thank you, sir, for the trip down memory lane. This collection is dedicated to you, and I sincerely hope you find your Camaro. Thank you.
All right, these will be our final 3 readers unless someone else signs up. But we've got Cody, Aaron, and Kate.
Hello, my name is Cody.
Hi, Cody.
It's my first time here. So a couple years ago, I was feeling really overwhelmed in graduate school and trying to have a social life and trying to chase my big goals. And I've always really liked the superhero Spider-Man. It's really cool how many different versions of him there are. And throughout the process of rewatching all the movies, I just started writing quotes and notes down. And then I guess this came out of it. So, dear Spider-Man, put on a red suit, wear a mask, but it's a no-go on the cape. A friendly neighborhood Spider-Man who lives and works in New York, far from my home. How have you been? Trying to do better. Cracking jokes, working on jobs, and selling pictures of yourself to make ends meet. Ever since you were bit by that radioactive spider, your life, it's complicated. Anyone can wear the mask, an anonymous superhero. Some see an outlaw, freak, masked menace, mistake, or anomaly. It's easy to fool people when they're already fooling themselves. What do you have to hide? Only a coward conceals his identity. Only a coward hides his true intentions. Who am I? Are you sure you want to know? Secrets have a cost. They're not for free. Not now, not ever. It's a big change. You're brilliant, brave, agile, fast, flexible, and stronger than you even know. Intelligence is not a privilege, it's a gift, and you use it for the good of mankind. You made a brave move telling me the truth. You'll never lie, even to protect those you love most. You prefer to work alone, with a guy in the chair. We'll make a good team. Dude, you're an Avenger, because there's no revenge in your heart. It's why you stay on the good side. Is morality your biggest weakness? Your nemesis is given in. I miss the part where that's my problem. They don't care about us. We are Venom, holding the power of the sun in the palm of my hand. The one thing they love more than a hero is to see a hero fail, fall, die trying. Giving up too much to stop now. You help them finally realize it will not die a monster. You're self-centered, not selfish. When you're looking for meaning, there's a special place with a sweet view. You're not afraid of heights and just need some time alone. You have incredible senses noticing details others don't. Then your sixth spidey sense, aka the Peter Tingle, with a solid sense of direction and indescribable warning sign for danger. Dodging bullies like J.J. Jameson, Flash, and Bonesaw, with no right to fight them. Most think it's a superpower, but I think it's just really good intuition. Then again, sorry, I'm a bit clumsy today. Dude's crazy and chick's digging. You're such a mystery, way too busy for parties, and not the most romantic. Theater, poetry, whatever that means. You're nothing to me but an empty seat. Love should never be a secret. If you keep something as complicated as love stored up inside, it could make you sick. It's hardly perfect and you have to work at it. Maybe everyone has a part of themselves they hide, even from the people they love. I'm really sorry, you don't deserve this, Liz, Gwen, or MJ. I got no time for Peter Parker stuff. It just never ends well. Just no good for her. If there's one thing you are, it's good. Anyone that has a problem with that, talk to me. If I were her, I wouldn't be disappointed. But I've come to expect disappointment, so then you'll never actually be disappointed. It just kind of feels different this time. It doesn't hurt anymore. I wouldn't give up. It took a while, but we made it work. There's a first time for everything, right? When you look into her eyes, the truth is you don't know how you feel, but you know the kind of man you want to be. You're Spider-Man, and I love that. But I love Peter Parker more. Isn't it time somebody saved your life? Go get him, Tiger. I'm the most famous man in the world, and I'm still broke. You can't stay invisible forever. You make promises you can't keep, but those are the best kind. You always have each other's back. Everybody needs help sometimes, Peter, even Spider-Man. We are happy to serve you. I never found the right band to join, so I started my own with a few old friends. You want in? Your friends and family will always be here for you. When raindrops keep falling on my head, till kingdom come, even long after they're gone. Like a drum, my heart never stops beating for you. You're different now. What's your MO? What gets you out of that twin bed in the morning? Just looking out for the little guy. Helping the nobody feel like a somebody. Trying to save everyone, even your own worst enemies. In spite of everything you've done for them so far, eventually they will hate you. So why bother? They've got a few secrets of their own. Not a bad person, just had bad luck. What if you could change their fate? You see yourself in them, which always leads to your greatest downfalls. Forgive your enemies, but you must start by doing the hardest thing. Forgive yourself. Ever since you were a little boy, you've been living with so many unresolved things. Those things send us down a road. They make us who we are. And if anyone's destined for greatness, it's you. Where are you going? I don't know. Just feel like you could be doing more. No matter how hard you try, you can't save everybody. When you've screwed the pooch and it feels like there's no way home, the whole world seems upside down. You're not a jerk for wanting a normal life, kid. I'm just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man no more. If you're nothing without this suit, then you shouldn't have it. It hurts because they're gone, and it hurts all over again. Because you remember what they stood for, and you wonder, is all that gone too? Somebody said it was a happy little tale, just your average ordinary guy without a care in the world. Somebody lied. Is it true, all the terrible things they say about him? Are you the problem? Do the weblocks and self-doubt come from trying to live two lives? Bad things are gonna happen. It makes us who we are. But good things happen too, you know? You have a choice. The public might be right. In just one word, you're amazing, Spider-Man, and resilient. No matter how many times you get hit, you always get back up. Find a way to come back. It's in your blood. There's no place like home. Everyone you helped, they'll keep it going. With dark days ahead of us, you keep giving people hope. On Earth 42, at bat for the minority. In the end, you always win. You know all too well it's not by choice. With great power comes great responsibility. It's your gift and curse, the sacrifice you make. Predictable like a moth to the flame, following the cry for help. And there's plenty others across the Spider-Verse just like you. You just haven't met them yet. Whatever battle we have raging inside us, we always have a choice. It's a choice that makes us who we are and can always choose to do what's right. Thanks for stepping up for me. You're the bravest kid I've ever seen. I want to be just like you when I grow up. I think I know that guy. I thought I was the only one, but you're like me. Anyone can wear the mask. We're the same in all important ways. I see this spark in you and it's amazing. You owe the world your gifts, you just have to figure out how to use them. I guess one person can make a difference. It's a leap of faith. Finish writing your essay. Do your own thing. You said it best. I'm Spider-Man. Weird things happen to me all the time. Someone knows a hero when they see one. There's a hero in all of us that keeps us honest, gives us strength, makes us noble. Time is luck, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Make yours count for something. Fight for what matters to you, no matter what. Because even if we fall short, what better way is there to live? Care for what you wish for, Parker. You're still just a kid trying to be a man. Spider-Man will always have enemies, and he will always be Spider-Man. It's what we do. Is that who you are? Should I ask, who do you choose to be?
Hello, my name is Erin. I feel like being a little selfish, so you guys get to listen to 4 of my poems today. This first one is my most depressing one, because I don't want to leave it on a sad note. But when I close my eyes tonight and safely dream of life, when I wake up again by morn, what will be left behind? Will we be stood side by side? Will they be alive? Will we all have looked away? Will even one survive? When I close my eyes tonight, what will my dreams hide? A lesson in our history books? Just another lined page? A question in a high school quiz? Answer Rafa? And when those students close their eyes and go to bed at night, will they wonder how we stood by for such a wrong? Will they grow up one day and stand where we stand, wondering if more will die, if even one will be left alive? Then, my second poem. This one is written pretty much entirely to be fun to read, so if you don't understand what the hell I'm talking about, that's completely fine. Sometimes it's easier if you can see it, but I'm gonna read it anyway. I also can't remember if I read this before, so if you've heard it before, pretend you didn't. It's called Tall Tale. A tale is a tale is a tale, a talking tick after talk, a tall tale, tool tied, ever wagging, somehow bragging, victims blamed, no victims named. Take note the tellers sell, they always double back, two tracked and mapped to throw you trick and trap. Timber timbers twofold under tattlers' tables. Don't trip on tone, the tongue tends to tell. A tale's titular tell. A tale to the till's total trails. Don't count yet, the change won't track. Just smile and nod and subtract for fact. This poem is called Crying Over Milk. Crying over milk, and it's not even spilt. So why the hell am I crying? What right have I to look God in the eye and tell him it's not enough? Selfish I must be to have a life so free and to cover my face entire. Guilty I should feel to have aces from the deal and to fold my winning hand. I feel all those things, and yet something about this milk is making me so damn sad. This last poem is untitled. I wake up and get on my phone. The same video I left at 3 a.m. is still open. I prepare for the sound of voices. I haven't been entertained in years. I am smothered by my overconsumption, washing my face with a second soap and starting a new video. I'm so bored, yet I click. Game after game, voice after voice, life and suffering that is not my own, seeping into any quiet corner left unfilled. I got so bored, so hopelessly bored, I let the screen go black and found my life less than boring to live.
Hello, my name is Kitty Robinson. I'm just gonna read this first one called Flowers. It's sort of a cliche, but I wrote a poem about flowers. And there's actually a line in here inspired from the movie Snow White that came out, was it last year or this year? So it can be inspired by anything, I think. My subjects don't want a flower. A new kingdom evolves with the ages, layers that connect, constructed to fall apart. Sometimes empires ruin to be born again in far-off places and lands. And then I read a poem about Diana before, and then I was gonna read one about Orion today, but it was a bit longer, so we're doing a little bit of out of order stuff, so I'll do Diana's Lament today. Diana's Lament. Let me remember my song in the night. Let me meditate in my heart. Yes, I will meditate and remember the remnant of you I will put on like a belt, who cuts off the spirit of princesses. When I remember, meditate you, my spirit faints. Let me remember our song in the night. For your name, belt, and stars and club are near, and you do not lift up your horn and hunt with your lone true dog. There in the forest, the flashing, shining, fiery arrows broke the moon's one lone true heart, glorious and more majestic than all the titans and the gods. And this one's called Write a Song About Me. Because they matter to me, tousle them with a pen. Blue, I guess, or the most professional red. I don't have a strong preference. I hope you're happy. Afflicted with a curse that I can't remember being cast. Growth is obscured, please find me. Silver, similar to gold, stable, but distant and aloof. Remember your path and walk it. The love I feel most intense, furthest from me. Flow like water, switch from a blame, seems petty, sarcastic, to a genuine question, to sincerely heartbroken. I don't know what originates where. The information you requested. And then, I don't know about copyright law, but I'll just say snippets of the 7th stanza inspired by Defying Gravity YouTube comments. So, yeah. So, then this last one is probably very cringy and I'm going to regret it, but I'm gonna read it anyways. So, it's called The Eagle. I wrote this one, was it May 11th? Okay, this year, yeah. The father of the lot, crook or scimitar, path of predilection, decided rituals lock faith down, a life a terrible thing to commandeer. Your perihelion eclipsical revelation roasts me, your will religiously, underneath your shadow but on my own. Can I improve for reasons other than fear? A fatalistic way, no other way. Everything vibrates but will not fall. I want to let go. Why am I holding on to something that doesn't hold back? I don't have much. Life is a simulated game. What do you want? I am trying to divine this quietness. It doesn't matter in the end. It was just an accident. Your water can be life-giving and taking. Don't obsess or try to fix things. It doesn't matter in the end. The universe wants something, but it won't tell us what it is. Will anything change? Yes and no, but mostly not really. I can't decode your grand strategy or your greater purpose. You built your sanctuary up like the high heavens. I delivered my own power to be in your captivity. A challenging track, basically all of passing by. My heel shadow, pushing in like hearted riptide. My mind whines to you, did I escape? I am not saved by your great army or by my strength. Your warmth denied. I'm always wandering certainty. I can't pass your impossible test. What are your reasons? A shadow in a line. I don't care anymore. I keep thinking I'm out, but then I remember I am in the labyrinth to begin yet again. Do your mischiefs have a higher purpose? There is no meaning, it just happened. My sighing is not hidden from you. Where dreams and visions become stark unreality. The blossoms are dying out here. It's spring, why are they dying? They are not transforming into good fruit. There are only echoes, never a voice or an answer. A tumult in my mind and heart, both at the extremities and the extremes. It isn't just my accident. Got to the end and couldn't figure out what the final fight wanted of me. It is a hard battle. Writing it down is hard too, you master sharpshooter. They are just building and you destroyed the tower, confounded them. The lights aren't put in, the lot is cast into your lap. Your attacks are intact. You descend at your mercy and you never show mercy. Tenacity, sacrifice, graves for falling. You existence master, your mysterious separating, precious cursed sinews you created. Classic destiny, contemporary builds, exiler with no elixir, your eternal destiny to hold me down. You are perfect. What is the difference between being led and being guided? I never made my own path. Tethered, forced, enslaved, following footprints on the sand, punished no matter what. If we stray or follow too closely, what do you want? I don't have a heart. I don't have a right for my heart to break. Targeted inborn contagion. What is the point? You made me 70 times 7. Kind of downer.
All right, well, since that was our last reader, oh, absolutely, we got one more. Make sure to say your name. We got 2 more.
I was intimidated because the clipboard was up here.
Yeah, make sure as you come up, let's write our names on here. If we run out of spaces, just start up at the top again.
My name is Ben. I'll be performing 3 poems today, which I'll select right now because I didn't want to interrupt my enjoyment of anyone else's stuff. So, this first poem I'm going to read is called An Ode to My Authors. And I like to rhyme, so I hope you guys like rhymes. Never mind, I don't have it on this phone. So this first poem I'm going to read is called Great Weight. Oh, great weight, I hide it on my shoulders. I choose to lift these uphill boulders, as if like Sisyphus condemned. I'm slow to fall, to drop my hold upon the all within my grip. So slow to give, to loosen up, to shake the sieve and check the dust. And love is tracing the outline of a body or a mind pressed gently into yours. And love is not dropping what ails you, but sharing, not stealing her gravity all to yourself, but carrying. To be burdened by each other, yet to feel as lifting snow. When this weight is given freely, and each lover lets theirs go, the parade has run its course. The performers stop their show. Just one truth is on display. To be held is to be known. And here's Cardboard Hearts. Time hands me things my hands don't know how to hold, yet peers bear off on gilded wings. The contrast here is waxing bold. I've spent such time, these cardboard dreams are not as toxic as they seem. They waterlog within my grasp, a flimsy bond to dying pasts. Wait, these dreams were warm in hand. They now feel flat and hollow. Bread and butter turn to sand, a taste I cannot swallow. I've learned to hope for better than that which I am used to. But hearts are wont to fetter the new they're introduced to. I drop the fading residue. It seems there's nothing else to do but find a graceful rendezvous with everything I learned from you.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
Hi, Chloe.
Thank you. I'm the new Helicon West intern, so you might see me more often. And I am going to pull up my phone right now. Sorry. Okay. So I'm not a poet, but I'm going to read you 2 poems. One is a list poem, and the second one is very, very short, because that's all I can do. So, this first one is called Things I'm Afraid of. Things I'm afraid of. Being misunderstood. Losing my eyesight. Shooting stars and their lost wishes. Exposed open water. Ghosts leisurely coasting along dead-end streets in my outgrown baby shoes and outside's anger. Keeping secrets. Growing old. The sharp sting of salt on cracked lips and the venom spouting from them. The bottom of the ocean. The bottom of this grief. Hearing my mother weep apologetically behind closed doors. Becoming someone who weeps behind closed doors. Spoiled milk, rotten blood, that there is a God. A man threatening the soft sand of my stomach again with a loaded hurricane and a turbulent fear behind his eyes. A trembling hourglass, dying young, calling out a name and not hearing a response, not even an echo. A naive child's delicate sandcastle at the mercy of hostile tides. A home disintegrating and no one near to rescue it, and drowning. Thank you. The second poem's a shorter one, and it's titled August, because August is almost over, and I forgot that I had this poem and I had to share it. So, here it goes. August arrives knowingly. She will be the beginning and the end of what I have yet to discover. She brings blazing peaches steeped in early summer shame, which taste as though you swallowed the sun. heavy with light and burning with sweetness. August enters readily. This is her moment to open her weary eyes and recognize the world for what it truly is, or for what she can transform it into.
My name is Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I think somebody's been doing addiction meetings. I think that's why. I work till 8, so I decided to try to get a little more involved. So I'm going to be showing up late, but I work kind of just down the road. But I've got a couple poems. Spring, or the sycamine tree. The sycamine tree, after all the coldness, all the bleakness of a lonely, shameful winter, reanimates the heat within its roots, flings its brown, barren branches toward the shelter of the sun's perfection, and then shapes. The geometry of a poem, the shape of life, is the utmost rising and setting of its southern sun, the obscured blossoming of an Indian paintbrush. Thank you.
All right, do we have any last minute volunteers? Perfect, we got one more, I love it. Yeah.
Hello, Charlie Phoenix.
Hi, Charlie.
So here's a fun story about me coming here today. I saw a sign that said like open mic, so I'm a musician, and I was like, I'm going to sing. Then I found everyone like reading, and I wrote a poem the other day like in Spanish. So I translated to English, and I found out that it rhymes better in English than Spanish. So that's what I'm going to read now.
That's awesome.
It's called People, and can I take this?
Yeah, give it a read. You might have to twist it.
Yeah. It doesn't go too high, but a little bit.
It's better. Okay. So people walk, they laugh, they cry, they go out for dinner. Deep inside, they're good, but on the surface, where mother tangles with pride, they're like demons. People carry bias, prejudice, they rush down roads, walking fast, yet they live slow. They breathe, they laugh, they lose themselves, and search for another or something else. At times they don't even know it, yet still they search. People can be barren, hungry, frail, foolish. When hope begins to tremble, they feel without knowing what they feel. They think without recalling what they've achieved. People are wise only when subdued. They are alive and still innocent. They are rich and keep searching again. They are life itself. Thank you.
Try again, Woody.
All right. Anyone else?
I'm from Free.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was amazing.
Thank you, everybody.
Before we lose everyone, there are a couple announcements. Next time, we're going to have a little bit of a different sign-up list that will have a slot for your emails. If you would like to put them, you can put them down. If you do not want to put them down, you are not required to. But we're trying to kick up our blog a little bit more, and so we're going to start doing interviews with both our featured readers and some of our open mic readers as well. So if you're interested in that, please, consider putting your email down. Thank you all for coming. And
Next event, 2 weeks?
2 weeks from now, we will have another event. We'll be on September 11th.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say,
Is there
what
a
topic
Yeah.
or?
Is Michael reading?
It will be Michael Stouter. He will be reading, oh, I don't want
From
to
his
slaughter
new
the name,
book,
but it's
yeah.
from his new book that just came out in like July, I think.
Yeah.
So,
And then open mic after.
yes, an open mic after that, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.